That's a good ball for Peter Weir. Now Aberdeen with McGee making the break and Hewitt waiting in the middle. Yes!
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you and supported, as always, by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And also by my friends at Craig International, who want to wish everybody a happy St Andrew's Day and a very happy Thanksgiving to everybody across the pond. And I'm absolutely thrilled to say, for the next month or so, I'm welcoming a new sponsor to the channel, Steadfast Scotland, globally recognised as your market leader and solution provider for bespoke quality bolting and safety critical components. My thanks to huge Aberdeen fan Scott McLeod at Steadfast for putting his trust and faith in the channel. Tomorrow, we head back to the capital. It's another huge game for the Dons, considering the past two games. Kick-off at Tynecastle is at 3 o'clock UK time, and it takes on significance after today's results in the Scottish Premiership, because we quite simply need to keep pace with Celtic after they thrashed Ross County today by 5-0. They've gone 5 points clear of us. But what we need to do now is just keep on track. At the bottom of the table, Hibs went above Hearts after they won today. So tomorrow, we face the bottom of the table side. How you doing, everybody? A very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV on what is an unusual countdown to Kickoff, because it's Saturday night. We don't usually come on a Saturday night. So I hope I'm not spoiling your... So what happens in the UK on a Saturday night? Strictly. Celebrity. And the rest? I know nothing. So I'm absolutely delighted, if you're watching us, for jumping on. This is the preview show ahead of our game tomorrow. So it's the usual drill. We're going to try and predict the team news. I've made a couple of changes. I think I'm going to get slaughtered. I probably will, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Got the match stats for you, which do not make for good reading. Picked out a couple of quotes from Yimmy, who again expresses how important it is to try and keep on track, that this is a 3-year project, and to learn from games where we've not picked up points. He was quite adamant about that in his press conference, which he gave yesterday at Cormack Park. So we'll be doing all of that. And of course, we'll be getting you guys on tonight so that you can offer your fellow fans your own thoughts on how you see tomorrow's game going in Edinburgh. Personally speaking, I'm a touch nervous about tomorrow, because over the past couple of games against St Mirren and against Hibs, what's troubled me slightly is how we've not been able to play decent over a 90-minute period. And when I pick the quote that I've picked out from Yimmy says exactly that. And I think tomorrow, because we always know it's tricky at Tynecastle, we always know they're going to give us a game. And despite them being bottom of the table, I think that goes out of the window. Their current form goes out of the window. So tomorrow, we really have to be at it for 90 minutes. And start replicating some of the really good performances that we've put in. Now, take nothing away from the lads. Absolutely not. 32 points from a possible 39. Come on, Jeez-o. But I do want to see an improvement tomorrow, because all I think that will happen is everyone will start jumping on a bandwagon of, oh, they've lost their bottle, it's typical old Aberdeen, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And I just don't want that ammunition to be fired towards the West Coast media and fans of other clubs. I just hope we can keep going on this trajectory that we have started on, and it's kind of plateaued a bit, but I want us to start going again. And I think tomorrow will be vital, because obviously on Wednesday we have a huge game at Pittodrie. And I think, well, I know we have to go into that game in absolutely the right frame of mind. It's massive. It's huge. So that's what I think, for what it's worth. So the team news, all right, okay. Bear with me, all right? Bear with me. I'm going to make some changes. And I've been a little bit concerned about what's been happening at the back, how we're shipping silly goals. So tomorrow, I hope Angus comes in for Rubicic. The reason that I've done that is because I think Ruby was a bit guilty of being completely off his game against Hibs. I've gone with the same two in midfield. I've gone with Shaden to start this game because I think we need a fast start. With Jamie to play through the middle, Duke over on the other side. And I'm going to start with Esther tomorrow. The reason being is because I just quite simply felt that Kevin was just nowhere near it against Hibs during the week, and Esther comes on and does what he does. So I think he deserves a starting berth. Okay, the manager. Sometimes opponents take the fight really hard in the first half. So the game is more blocked and maybe looks slower, but sometimes it looks much sharper for us in the second half because we are a strong team and we don't drop ourselves so much. We try to increase the level. So this is what he's talking about not playing consistently over 90 minutes. He went on to say, I rather see it that we are strong over 90 minutes, and you also have to respect the opponents. They have a game plan, good players, good squads, and they also try to win the game. It's always more of a closer game in the first half and usually more open in the second. So first and foremost, I'm delighted that he's recognised it and that he's addressing it, and he knows it's where we've got to improve. And as I said at the top of the show, it's where I really hope tomorrow we do see a significant difference in the way that we play, not just in spells here and there, but over a 90-minute period. Okay, that's the last thing I wanted to get in. So, match stats. So, in 11 meetings between the two sides, Aberdeen have not beaten Hearts at Tynecastle since May 2017. Hearts have lost 4 from their last 5 games in all competitions. After the Dons' 3-2 win in October, Aberdeen could earn back-to-back league victories against Hearts for the first time since August 2019. Our referee is Kevin Clancy, and the chap checking over VAR is Chris Graham. So, not one since May 2017. That's too long. Far, far too long. Let's hope it all changes tomorrow. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. Okay. Steve Williamson is on. Hi, Ali. Hope you're well. Doing just fine. Thank you, Steve. Let's hope we get back on track tomorrow. It's going to be very difficult. Hibs are now above them, so the pressure is on. He came back to say, any chance of a happy birthday shout out to my son, Michael, 20 years a Dons fan. Michael, it's your birthday tomorrow. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day and many, many happy returns. And I hope you get spoilt rotten on the day. And here's hoping for a memorable day with 3 points as well. Can't be bothered, I said, hi Ali, surely a start for Palaversa tomorrow. Also, I see Mackenzie is being linked with a pre-contract at Rangers. Aye. Kaiser has said, how are we doing, Kaiser? He said, our record at Tynecastle is abysmal. I hope I'm wrong, but a draw will be the best. That's what he's hoping for. Ian Barron says, hi Ali and fellow dandies. There's been a lot of negativity around the team. Okay, the last 2 games have been disappointing, but a win tomorrow and a positive result on Wednesday, we are right back in it. Love your positivity, Ian. Kaiser came back to say, I wouldn't read too much into Mackenzie going to Sefco. That's just the Daily Rangers trying to stir the pot. I wonder why with 2 big games coming up, eh? Oh, talking about at it. Ignore. Just ignore. Paul Donaldson is here. How are we doing, Paul? Hugh Clark says, I hope we turn up tomorrow and beat the diet. Lot. Paul Donaldson said, you always know when we've got a game against one of the gruesome twosome coming up when the Glasgow media start linking our players with them. Until anything happens, it's just them staring. Exactly. Just ignore it. Don't let it bother you. Don't respond to it. Ignore. John Grant says, good evening, dandies. We need to cut out the defensive mistakes and hopefully Mittoff can deal with the 6-yard box better. If we are more clinical up front, then there should be less pressure on the defence. Hugh Clark came back to say, we must win tomorrow, or would we be happy with a draw? Ian Taylor Art is here. Hi, Ian. How you doing? He's wishing everybody a good evening. As is Gavin Wilson. He said, I hope you listened to Willie Miller's wee confession on Open All Mics. Thanks for letting me know. Graham Gibbs said, rumours of Mackenzie to Ibrox have been circulating for a while. Sager Saturn Lad says, don't worry, Yimmy has all the gear and the idea. Can't be bothered. I said, I hope Mackenzie isn't going to do a Connor Barron. Barry Cool is here. How are we doing, Barry? He says, good evening, fellow dandies. Don't like it when we play Sundays. He feels lost. Kaiser came back to say, I would sell McGrath and Mackenzie in January if there's an offer. We don't want to go down the Barron route like last season when we were offered 500 grand from Swansea. Neil Mizon wishing everyone a good evening. So, Cammy Fraser said, Palaversa simply has to start tomorrow. If not, then there's clearly something amiss. I must admit, mate, I did toy with it, Cammy. I did toy with it. I just think Nielsen will start just to sort of bed us in. That's what I'm thinking. Just to get us bedded in. And if we're doing okay and we're solid, get him off, bring Ante on just to keep us nice and solid. Does that make sense? Chris Clark says, I almost feel like this is a must-win game of sorts. If we go 3 games without a win, the media will have a field day with the bubble has burst headlines. Let's get back on track and fast. I completely agree, Chris. Howard Fowler says, don't care where they go if they don't sign on. It's those who wear the red shirt that matters. Paul Donaldson said, there's nothing on Saturday night telly, Ali. YouTube is much better. Gavin Wilson also said, I haven't watched the BBC or STV for a few years now. Simply ABTV only. My man. Gordon Keith Ritchie says, good afternoon. Late joining. It's time we beat Hearts away. We've got a poor record down there. Just have to go and tighten up at the back. David Gold Rally Vids is on, wishing everybody a good evening. As is Simon Roy. Hi, Simon. Hope you're well. He says, let's get stuck into them for the whole 90 minutes. Exactly. Mark Davidson has said, must admit, would maybe prefer to see Gus in defence rather than either Gavin or Ruby. Ian Taylor Art came back to say that he thinks it's going to click tomorrow and he's predicting a 4-1 win for the Dons. Paul Donaldson said, I never look forward to away matches against Hearts, but we have to play them away at some point, and there's no better time than now after a European match on Thursday. Oh, Cammy, don't be so down. West Coast Dawn says, Hearts can play decent, Ali, over 90 minutes, so I'm happy that we can do a solid 45 minutes. Dave B says, good evening, dandies. Tomorrow is going to be tough. Even at Pittodrie, they had the chances to put the game to bed, so we need to be at our best. Simon Roy came back to say, the defence scares me shipping 12 goals. Ruby and Malloy need to be changed, and Angus comes in. Sagan Satalad said, went to the Hearts v Killie game a few weeks back. Tynecastle's a brilliant stadium, but I was not impressed with Hearts. Graham Gibbs said, for Hearts, I feel the game in Europe on Thursday might be an issue. They don't have a big enough squad regarding forward-going players. If we can be level with 20 minutes to go, we have a good chance then. West Coast Dawn also said, right, I get you now. He said, Hearts can't play over 90 minutes. That's why they're bottom. So a good 45 should see us through. Understood. Cammy Fraser is hoping for a 4-3-3 formation tomorrow. And Simon came back to say Palvara and Palaversa both need to play tomorrow. Kaiser also said Palaversa must start. Cammy said, no way is that the team, Ali. You're probably quite right, Cammy. You're probably quite right. Neoma suggested that McGarry comes in for Mackenzie. Yeah, Cammy Fraser said, this is what he thinks, so it will be the usual defence, 3 in midfield, and McGrath and Duke in behind Esther. Yeah, okay. So you're going to go with, so Cammy, so the 3 in midfield, I take it you're going to go with Nielsen, Shinza, and McGrath. Oh no, sorry. So who's your other one in midfield? So you've got, tell me who your 3 is, because I get that you've gone with McGrath and Duke just in behind Esther. So that's your front 3. Who's your middle? Tell me who your middle is. Gavin Wilson says, Nisbet might have been more up for it against Hearts. Maybe if benched, he'll bring his best game as a sub tomorrow. Right, where are we? Bear with me, because it just literally jumped. Okay. Kaiser said, whatever team Yimmy puts out at the start, he always has to change things at half time. Simon says, maybe give McGarry a game, let Mackenzie be on the bench, keep him for Celtic. Not sure why McGarry doesn't get a chance. I think the reason why he's not getting a chance, Simon, is quite simply because I think Jack has been so good this season. Jerry Kennedy said Palaversa to start would be a positive move. Graham Klein says, hopefully they are goosed after their trip to Belgium. Fans on Shanklin's back after 1 goal in 22. Hopefully he continues that form. Neil Strachan says, good evening, Ali. I think we, Aberdeen, will win 5-0. And hopefully we can close the gap. Graham Gibbs said, he has said, Hearts go flat out from the start at Tynecastle to get the crowd on board. When St Mirren did that, we were spooked. Hopefully, we will be ready at 3 p.m. and prepared to stand up to them. Yeah. Graham Barron is here. Hi, Graham. Never apologise for me for jumping on late. Hope we've trained on defending for the game tomorrow. Let's start positive with a few goals in the first half, please. And then hopefully Celtic will have an off day on Wednesday. Do you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Lawrence Shanklin doesn't play tomorrow. Let's see. John McLean says, come on the Dons, from a Celtic fan. Welcome, John. Hope you're enjoying the show, mate. Russell Fraser said, think Sokla and Ante should start. Can't see Yumi changing his formation. Need Ante in to play the ball wide. A bit of vision is needed. Okay, Cammy, thank you. Shinnie, Palaversa and Nielsen. Okay. Do you know, I must admit, mate, that's kind of where I was thinking earlier. So we are kind of singing from the same hymn sheet, but I decided to go with the normal formation, the 4-2-3-1. West Coast On said, once we properly replace Miovski and get another centre-back in, we'll be an even better team. Let's not forget, the team is still a work in progress. Right. Graham Barron just reminded everybody that Hearts have Devlin and Penrice suspended after picking up bookings last week. Let's see if we can capitalise on that. Come on, you Reds, he said. Okay. So a lot of you are now sort of coming on and picking your own side, which is good. So David Goldralli Vids has gone with Mittoff, Devlin, Angus, Malloy, Jack as a back four, Nielsen, Palaversa and Shinnie, Duke, Keskinen and Sokler. Okay, with a fourth, West Coast Dawn has gone 4-3-3 for me. Shinnie, Palaversa, Nielsen in midfield, McGrath, Nisbet, Keskinen or Duke up top. Okay. Look, whatever happens come 2 o'clock tomorrow, it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what the gaffer does. Cammy Fraser said, Hearts don't really have any other functioning striker apart from Shankland. David Goldralivich just came back to say, Nielsen sitting in front of defence, Shinnie and Palaversa in front of him, Duke left, Toppy right, Sokler up top. Kaiser makes an excellent point. Kaiser, I'm glad you brought this up because I'd already sort of earmarked this for Tuesday's preview show. So on Wednesday, it will be 20 years to the day that Hicham Zerouali tragically died in Morocco. Kaiser says, I think it would be appreciated for some kind of remembrance at the game. Rest in peace, the Moroccan magician. That's a lovely thought, Kaiser. Let's hope somebody picks up on that and let's see if we can get something going. Yeah, it's a very, very nice thought. Ian Taylor Art says, Shankland lets the crowd get to him, both ours and theirs, liability to them. The musical box is here. How are we doing? He says, Hearts may now be a bit leggy and Shankland may be unhappy if his Sevco move is out the window. Neil Strachan came back to say, Ali, I can see and love it to beat Hearts tomorrow and Celtic on Wednesday. I can see it and love it, Ali. Yeah, a lot of you now talking about Zero. What a player he was. Cammy Fraser makes a great point. He says, Zero, right player, wrong time. It's so interesting when I've spoken to a lot of his ex-colleagues. Ben Thornley, remember speaking to Ben at length about Zero, saying that he was, considering the players that Ben played with in his youth, said he was one of the most technically gifted players that he ever played with. David Priest spoke so highly of him. Yeah, some of those goals that he scored, St Mirren in the Cup at Paisley, when he hit it, it was like a bullet straight in the top corner. What a goal that was. Oh, it was so tragic, eh? So tragic. In fact, what I've always found quite humbling is whenever I've posted about the anniversary of Hitcham's passing or his birthday, a lot of the fan sites from Morocco come on and comment or share the post as well. So we get an awful lot of interaction with fans from the clubs that he played with in Morocco, where he's still an absolute hero down there. So on Tuesday, we'll do something about that as well. West Coast On has said, look, we must try and get a result tomorrow because Celtic are pretty much unstoppable. Russell Fraser has gone with Mitov, Devlin, Angus, Ruby and Jack, Ante, Shinnie, McGrath, Leighton Clarkson, Toppy and Sokla. The musical box has gone unchanged keeper, back four for me, then Palaversa, Shinnie, Vinny, Duke, Nesbitt and Keskinen. Interesting. Russell Fraser said, oh, sorry, I've just read that one out. So, yeah, really interesting. Just, you know, how many different teams we can come up with, which is actually testament to the squad at the moment, isn't it? That we can pick so many different teams. Right, guys, we're going to call it a day. Thank you so much for coming on, as always, particularly on a Saturday night. And all that's left to say, as we always do, 24 hours before the game, is the very best of luck to the lads. If you're travelling to Tynecastle tomorrow, please have a safe trip. Have a fantastic trip as well. And let's just, we talked about it last week. Let's get back to winning ways. Let's get us in the right frame of mind for the Celtic game. I do think it's important. I think we do need to bounce back because the disappointment of Tuesday night, despite it not being a defeat, was there for all to see. To lose the game in that manner was obviously a kick in the teeth. And what I'm hoping is that there wasn't too much of a knock-on effect to that. So we're going to be facing Hearts at a very good time. And I just hope we can come out the blocks quickly, which will set the tone for the way we play over 90 minutes. So I hope it's not a laboured start. I hope we don't allow them to dictate the opening 20, 25 minutes because it will lift them. That's the last thing we need. So I do hope we come out the blocks fairly quickly tomorrow. So guys, we're going to have a really busy few days. So we will be back on Monday night for the review show, analytical segment as always with Andrew Budge. We'll also be back on Tuesday for the preview show ahead of the game against Celtic. Toying with the idea of potentially doing a watch-along show, but I'll see because I might have my kids on Wednesday. And then Thursday we will be back, obviously, for the review show with Andrew again with the analytical segment. So thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And just before we go, so enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and I will see you all on Monday. Bye for now. Stand free.